You for coming today, and I've got some stuff here. We're going to talk about being brave today and being courageous, and I've got 4 things to say. David Dollar, what are you doing? I've got 4 things. Sorry, I've got 4 things to say. The first one is being brave is a facet of. Facet. It's a facet of. David Dollar, what are you doing? Bill, is there feedback? I'm hearing. Okay, sorry. Okay. Number 1, being brave is a facet of being. David Dollar, stop talking. Stop talking. What are you doing? What are you? Fear? Why are you on? What are you doing? I would ask you the same question. You know that dream you have where you're in your bathrobe at a Taylor Swift concert and you're trying to stammer around, trying to tell people what you're doing? That's what you sound like. Blah, 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 blah. Fear, I'm trying to give a speech. I'm trying to talk to these people about being brave. Is that what you call it? A speech? Have you not heard some of the other things going on today? Those are speeches. You're just mumbling and bumbling. Seriously. You need to get off the stage. You don't know what you're doing. I do. I mean, I was asked to talk, and they asked me to come up. Oh, that's right. Last year, you did your whole leap thing. You're like, hey, look at me. I'm going to leap off the stage, and I'm going to be a Disney planner. And that was great. That was awesome. You did good. You did great. You did wonderful. Great. That was last year. They don't care. You know that, right? They don't care. They do care. They're my friends, and they support me, and they say that, but they don't care. You have to understand this. Let's talk. Let's talk. Pick anybody out of the audience. Just pick somebody. It doesn't matter. There's Chris Holmes. He's right. Chris Holmes is a great example. You know what Chris Holmes has done? He's done 3 books, 2 encouragement books and a workbook, and they're awesome. Impacting hundreds, thousands of people. Just lines on a page. How encouraging he is. He's got a whole line of handkerchiefs. He's fantastic. What have you done? I mean, I wrote a book, I'm trying to write a book. Right. You're trying to write a book, a movie book you're trying to write to support your podcast that nobody listens to. Seriously? All right, let's pick somebody else. There's Scott. Scott. He's got this whole coloring book thing going. He's awesome. People love him. The things he says, they're funny. They're great. He's got things. What are you doing? I'm trying to. Let's look out. Look, there's Kenda. Kenda's book. You haven't even read her book. Not only do you not matter, you're a bad friend. But that's okay, because guess what, David Dollar? She doesn't care either. You know that, right? They do care. I mean, I'm good enough. No, you're good enough. You're fine. What you do is fine. What you do is great. You know what you're doing. You know how to tell people to ride Space Mountain. We got it. But here's the thing. You don't compare to these people. These people are awesome. These people are amazing. Jared Murr, what he says, his voice, he's got the paradigm shift thing, got the podcast, he is strong. You got nothing. Look at the rest of these. April, and there's Renee. They've been to hell and back in their life, and they're standing strong, and they're adored, and they're loved. You get mad when you can't get through to Disney World. Seriously. What have you got? You've got nothing. Nobody cares what you do. You got that, right? That's not true. I mean, I wrote a speech, and I wanted to talk about being brave, and I can't. Exactly. And you're falling apart up here because you can't even be brave in front of people that you think are your friends. They're annoyed with you. You know that, right? You run around hugging everybody, going crazy. People see you, and they're like, oh, God, don't hug me. And they mean it. I mean, Clay is your bro, right? He's annoyed by you. Seriously. You don't matter. What you do, David Dollar, doesn't matter. You know that. You don't compare to anybody in this room. So you need to get off the stage. You know who's coming next? Bradley Gant's coming next. He served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He wrote a book. He's being successful. You don't compare. You need to get off the stage. Go. Let him come up here and actually bring something to these people. Bring something awesome here. You got nothing. So get off the stage. Okay. Well, I guess that's all. I appreciate your time. I thank you for that was brutal. That was tough. Hey, Kristen. Let me ask you something, Kristen. Yeah. Have you ever been in a position where you know you need to do something, but fear stands right there, and so you just don't do it because of fear? And you want to do it. You're like, that's the right thing to do, but fear tells me not to do it, so I'm going to do it. You ever feel like that?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. Thought I was it. Angie, it's good to see you.
You too.
Let me ask you, have you been in a position where maybe you thought you needed to stay where you were, but fear told you to go, and so you just went with it, even though you knew you shouldn't have? The right thing, the risky thing was to stay, but you just went with it.
Yeah.
Really? Fear's a liar. Combat. Hey, buddy. Does fear ever bother you? You're Combat Clark. Where's Bill Weeks? Does fear get you? Seriously? Fear's a liar. So the sense I'm getting here is that fear goes after everybody. Because he was just telling me that I'm it, and I believed him because I'm stupid. But he goes after everybody. Okay, so we're going to do this together. Because fear's, okay, we're going to do this together. Right now, in this very moment, today, I want you to think of one thing that you're fearful of. Okay, just one thing. Just doesn't have to be a whole life plan. It could be the whole life plan, just whatever. My fear is that I'm not good enough. Take that back. I know that I'm good enough at what I do. My fear is that I don't count, that it doesn't matter. That's the one fear that I really, really struggle with, that people just get tired of me. Because David Alabern, that does happen. It's a real thing. Ask my wife. So, on the count of 3, I want you to say that fear. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can just whisper it. You can just mouth the words. Or you can say it out loud, because I think there's something powerful about voicing that one fear. It could be a word, 2 words, 3 words, just whatever. The count of 3, just say it out, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say one word, one phrase. A little crass. You don't have to say it if you don't want to. I don't want to say, fear, we're going to punch you in the face. That's been done. I love the term fear. Fear is community. That's great. That's awesome. But we're going to go to the David Dollar heart of it. On the count of 3, we're going to yell at fear. We're going to simply say all together, fear, you can suck it. Because honest to God, that's exactly how I feel whenever I face fear. I don't want to punch it in the face. I don't want to do, what I want to do is I want to say, fear, you can suck it. Because I don't have time for you. When I put my feet on the ground in the morning and I raise my hand and say, thank you, God, for another day, I want to look around. If I see fear, I want to say, no, I don't have time. I got crap to do. I don't have time for you. Because you only have the credibility I give you, fear. And I'm giving you none because I got stuff to do. It's not even me being brave. It's me being busy. I got stuff to do to not have to worry about fear. So on the count of 3, we're all going to tell fear at the same time. Fear, you can suck it. 1, oh, hold on. Clay, are we good? Okay, because he's a liar. I want to make sure we're, okay, good deal. 1, 2, 3. I'm fear. I own all of you. I own you. No, fear, you don't. You don't. Because I'll tell you why. Because I am good enough. And I do have a support system. And people do love me. And I love them. And this is the way this works. It's called family. It's called community. It's called relationships. It doesn't matter. And maybe you say what I do doesn't matter. And maybe I'm not Jared Murr, but I don't have to be. I can't do what he does when it's speaking. But dadgum, I can walk a family through Christmas Day at Disney World. He can't, and I guarantee it. And I'm not Chris Holmes. Chris Holmes is awesome at what he writes and what he does. And I don't have to be Chris Holmes. And I don't have to be Renee. And I don't have to be April. I don't have to be anybody. I have to be me. And I do what I do, and I love what I do. And I'm good at it. Just like they're good at what they do. We don't have to compare. And you know what? Everybody in this room may be more awesome than me, but that doesn't mean I'm still not a little bit awesome. Maybe I'm down here, but the awesome bar is down here, and we're all above it. So fear, here's the thing, fear. You need to get off my stage, because guess what? You're a jackwagon. What does that even mean? Doesn't matter. Go. 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 Good. That's how you got to handle fear, because let me just tell you, folks, fear is not going to be gentle with you. Fear is not going to cuddle you in its arms and say, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you Fear is going to look at you and say, you're not good enough. You don't compare. Everybody else is better. What you do doesn't matter. It's going to tell you that straight up, and it's not true. You need to tackle that fear and tell fear to take a hike, because then, only then, can you grab your awesome and run with it. Thank you.